Hey guys, welcome to the beginners class. So this week we're going to go through the single leg X, and so we're going to start off with some easy drills just to get to know the position and learn how it works. And later on we're going to go into an entry into the position, and last but not least a sweep from the single leg X. So starting off nice and easy, Christian's going to be sitting on the opposite side here, and what I'm looking for is I'm looking to get both my legs in between his legs, okay? And I'm going to bring his heels up from the floor. This is gonna give me some space underneath his knees here so that I can slide nice and easy underneath him, okay? So what I'm looking to do now is I'm gonna pull myself tight to one of his legs. I'm gonna use this leg on the floor to slide under, okay? From here, I'm gonna bring my knee down towards his hip and then bring my foot or my heel onto his hip bone, okay? So I'm creating this a little bit of a lock situation where my knee is locking on top of my heel and I'm staying tight to Christian here, right? So not too far, but just tight enough so that I can lock it like this, okay? So now I'm just gonna move back with both of my knees inside here. Then I can go to the other side, so I'm gonna stretch out, pull myself in, and then heel to knee, okay? Go back, other side, lock it, and back out. Boom. And in, okay? So once I've done that a couple of times and I understand where I want to have my legs, now Christian is starting to test me a little bit. So he's gonna start walking backwards, pulling me in a little bit in circles here, and I have to follow, right? Stay tight all the time. If any moment that I feel like he's getting loose or he's moving away from me, then there's something I need to adjust, right? So I know now that I wanna stay tight, okay? And so the next thing here is that Christian is gonna start moving and rolling, okay? So IBJJF legal, he has to, or I have to roll after him once he rolls this way, right? And I'm always trying to push him this way, okay? If at any moment we start rolling this way, I have to make sure that I'm always the last one to roll and he's the one going belly down first, okay? If my foot crosses his hip at any point here, I'm reaping and then I will be DQ'd, okay? So he's now rolling this way and I'm just gonna stay tight and follow until I'm on the other side here, okay? And always, when I'm trying to finish the leg lock, I'm always trying to move to this side. So for the referees, they always know that I'm trying to move to this side and I'm doing it legally, right? So I don't get disqualified. So you have to be able to keep this position as we rotate. So when he rotates, you have to stay tight, roll over your head, and come out on the other side here with the same legs or the same placement of the legs. So now Christian is gonna be standing, so it's a little bit of a different scenario. And now I have to engage my hips much more, okay? So he's gonna spread his legs a little bit here. So same concept, I want to be on the inside underneath him, okay? So now, grabbing both legs here, I'm gonna pull myself to one leg here, get tight, bring this leg up, slide it so that I have my heel on top of his hip bone, and now I can choose between having my foot on the back of his opposite thigh or the same thigh. Depending on what I want to do in this different scenarios or situations, this one is gonna stop people from stepping back with this leg, right? So here I can stop that. With this one, I can do much more of off-balance movements forward. So this is gonna give me much more of a kick over my head, okay? So here, I can move back down. And when I move back down, I'm gonna keep this knee in between, bring the other one in, and then do the other side here, okay? So here, back and forth. Okay, so a very common thing that you do when you first learn this is that you throw both of your legs down and then you pull up, back down, pull up, right? So just a good habit to have is to always have at least one knee in between so that when I'm moving here and back down, at no point can you just sit down and get to mount, for example, right? So I'm always having at least one shin to frame in case anything happens. Okay? Thank you guys. Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here with the entry to the single leg X, and we're gonna do my favorite shin to shin. So here, nice and easy. Just so you guys understand the shin to shin, obviously it's my shin up against his shin, and not chin to chin like Teta says. I'm just kidding. So I'm throwing this arm around here, and I want to stay tight here all the time, right? And a little bit about this leg, I'm pointing it like 45 degrees out, not too much, not too tight, right? So I'm gonna point it a little bit out here, and then bring myself tight to his knee, okay? Now, one little detail here. Make sure that you're going deep enough with this arm, right? So you don't want to have a shallow grip here. You want to make sure that you're really getting this arm all the way around. Now my neck, I want to look a little bit up. Reason being, if I'm looking down, it's super easy for him to start getting some headlocks and different attacks, right? Whereas if I'm looking up, he has to super commit to get over or on the back of my head here. So he's looking to hide the back of my head under his shoulders or under his bicep, right? And so as long as I'm looking a little bit up, I'm pretty safe here. And also, if he commits, he's off balancing himself so that I can slide under and get into the single leg X, right? So now the other leg here, I'm gonna place it in between. And I'm using this one to scoop myself underneath, but I'm also making sure that I have it tight enough to my body so that in case if he falls on top of me, my shin is ready to frame away and push him away in that case, right? Here, my hand here that's free, I'm making sure that I'm placing it on his knee here, or like on the side of his thigh here, okay? Reason being, there's a very common counter defense here from his side. As soon as I slide down, what happens a lot is he's trying to post his hand on the floor, and he's gonna de-hook my leg with this leg, and now maybe into a knee slide or straight away to a pass, right? So I wanna make sure that I'm buying myself some time by pushing this leg away, okay? So when I'm blocking this leg, I'm giving myself some time so I can get all the way underneath and come into the single leg X. So here, boom, I'm under, right? And now I'm gonna use this leg that's on his shin to push, and so that I'm sliding his shin down into the single leg X here, okay? So we end up in the same position that we were in when we were drilling first. So, this side, so you guys can see. So here, and in, okay? Ooh. And into the single leg X, right? So, important that I actually pull his weight on top of me, and I manage to like slide my shin on the inside here, right? So I'm sliding it on the inside, and I'm looking to bring my heel all the way up on his hip bone, okay? So one more time here, boom. And there we go. Okay guys, so last one for today here, we're gonna do a little bit of a sweep here. Super essential, and off balancing is always important before you're gonna set up some attacks and submissions, right? So we can do the entry first. Boom. And just go to this side. Boom. Here. And I got into the single leg X, okay? So first off, the easiest of the easiest, I want to sweep him backwards, right? I want to turn my knee out, and I want him to fall out like this, okay? And it's not gonna be that easy, obviously, but that's what we're always looking for, okay? So usually this movement builds up to something else, or this is what we're looking for after a little bit of a off balancing, okay? So Christian here in the single leg X, and now he's conscious. He knows that I want to sweep him this way. So he's gonna be stepping forward. He's gonna be having a good base, a little bit low, being tight, you know? And now what I have to do is I have to off balance him the other way. Because now it's much easier for me to make him post his hands on the floor here, right? Than getting him to fall backwards, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna block his knee with this hand. So just turn it a little bit. I'm gonna block his knee. So this hand is preventing him from stepping forward further, right? As soon as I'm gonna push him, okay? So I'm gonna stop his knee like this. And here, this leg, I'm gonna move it so that's right behind his butt on the same side here, okay? So this is gonna help me kick and push him over me, okay? So here comes a little bit of a weight difference. So with a little bit of the same weight or lighter guys, you can use both of your legs just to kick him forward, okay? But if it's too hard and he's a little bit heavier, you might wanna use this leg to push or kick against the floor, okay? So just so you guys see, I'm using my leg like this. So it's a little bit of an explosive movement here. And now, once he's posting his hands on the floor, I'm gonna bring myself up and hook and get into the single leg X again, okay? So what happens now is he's gonna try to come up again. And that's my moment to push him back and get him off balance. So he gets swept, and then I can start going for the submission. Ooh. So single leg X. So I tried maybe going for this one first, but he's stepping forward and he's having good base. It's hard. Now I'm gonna grab his knee here and kick him forward, okay? So I'm using my foot on the floor, kicking him forward. Bring myself up right after, here. And he's gonna be pushing himself up as well. So when that happens, he's coming up, boom, I'm gonna sweep him back, and there we go. Nice and easy, super basic sweeps, but this is like the bread and butter of the single leg X. Hey guys, welcome to the beginners class, and today we're gonna do some single leg X. And this is one of my favorite positions to fight from. And so we're gonna start off with some easy drills just to get to know the position and how it works. And after that, we're gonna go into the entry and then finally a little sweep, right? So my partner is gonna sit on the floor here just for now. And what I'm looking to do here is just get on the inside of his legs. Nice and easy, right? You could grab both of the ankles here, lift them up. This is gonna enable you to slide under his legs as we go, right? So now I wanna kick my leg under his leg here, okay? I'm gonna get tight and scoop myself under like this. So here, right. Now I'm collapsing this knee, but I'm still hooking the back of his thigh on this side, okay? So I wanna stay tight, and I'm gonna bring my heel to his hip bone, and I wanna lock my knee on top of my heel, like this, okay? So for now, this is what I wanna focus on, getting into this position, okay? So I can go back, and I can do it on the other side, okay? Back and forth. Nice and easy, okay? So from this position, I want to start exploring how well I'm staying tight here, okay? So I want to pinch my legs together, and so Christian is going to start moving around, okay? So just starting by walking around in circles or back and forth or spinning around, right? And so that's like the first test. The second test is he's going to start spinning over to this way. And I want to follow. Now we're super close. Woo. So, especially IBJJF legal, he's gonna always try to spin outwards most of the time, and I always want to push out to this side, right, or else I get DQ'd. So when he spins this way, I want to make sure I'm tight as he goes, and still keeping my foot on top of his hip bone, right? At no point do I want to cross over and get DQ'd for the reap, right? Of course, if you're fighting in the ADCC or something else, then it's a totally different thing. But again, this is a beginner's class, and that's why we're addressing it this way. So here, I want to stay tight, and once I've gotten the rotations and all of that, I'm starting to really figure out my leg placements. That's when I start to put in the arm, right? So I really want to grab around his ankle here and stay tight. Always keep my elbow like tight into my ribs, and that's how I'm gonna start getting good positions or leg locks here, right? The second part here is when Christian is standing. So, just to give you guys an idea, I'm gonna be in the same position that we did when he was sitting down, but now he's standing up and I have to be more engaged with my hips, right? So I'm gonna be grabbing his ankles here, right? And I'm gonna pull myself tight to one side, stretch the leg through, and come up, okay? So I'm gonna go through some things here just fast. I wanna hook the opposite hip for certain scenarios where I'm stopping him from backstepping. Whereas I wanna hook the same leg here or the same thigh to kick him over or to off balance him a couple of times, right? So these two, you can play around with it. Try it when the guy is standing here. But I'm just gonna go back down here, kick out, and bring myself tight on the other leg, okay? Back down. Okay, now a little important detail. As I switch, watch how I'm always keeping one knee in between his legs at all times, right? What a very common mistake I see when the guys do this drill is that both of their legs go out and down, right? When this happens, you're gonna get used to this, and the guy is just gonna sit on top of you and get a good position, right? Whereas, if I always have this leg in between here, I'm always safe that if he sits down, I have this shin to push him away and frame, right? So I always want to make sure at least I have one leg here in between and not just stretching both my legs back. So here, we got it like Okay guys, so we're gonna go a little bit further here into the entry to the single leg X. So I love the shin to shin, and so that's what we're gonna be showing. So the shin to shin is obviously my shin up against his shin, right? And there's a little bit about the angle here as well. When I'm getting into contact here, I wanna be sure to point my knee outwards a little bit here. Not too much, but just like 45 degrees out, pretty much, okay? On the same side here, I'm gonna be grabbing around his leg, okay? So I wanna stay tight to his legs with this arm here, right? Not like a shallow grip, but a deep grip with my arm all the way around, okay? Important part here with my neck. If I'm really looking down, I'm kind of giving him guillotines, headlocks, all those kind of positions, right? Whereas if I'm looking up, like the back of my head is far away and he has to really commit to try to catch it, right? And if he does that, he's just giving me a off balancement where I can start going under and get into the single leg X, right? This other leg here, just step a little bit here. I always want to make sure I'm not too far through, but I'm going to use it to pull myself under, right? So this one is playing a little bit of a role to pull myself under, but I don't want to stretch it out completely, whereas I don't have anything to defend myself from him sitting on top of me later on. So, important part here as well, I'm going to be blocking the opposite knee with this hand. This is going to buy me some time, okay? Reason being, if I don't do it, let's say I'm sitting down here, a lot of times he's gonna post his hands on the floor and then he's just gonna kick my foot off and he's kind of free, right? So by keeping this leg away and posting it away, now when I'm pulling down here, I'm buying myself time so that he can't use this foot to kick my foot away, right? So this one is just to buy yourself some time and then you go, okay? So, turn the angle a little bit. I'm gonna pull him on top of me. Here, boom. And again, the same thing we did in the drilling. I wanna make sure that this leg is active and staying tight here, right? So now, I'm gonna push him up, and I'm gonna slide my leg so that his shin slides down, and now I can go for the foot placement or the leg placement like I did earlier in the drill, okay? Single leg X, and there we are, okay? So here, shin to shin, I'm really pushing in, getting tight, making sure I'm looking a little bit up, posting my hand on his knee to make sure that he doesn't counter my foot, right? So I'm gonna pull myself under, bringing him on top of me, and get the single leg X, right? So it's important that his leg, his shin is sliding on the side so that it comes all the way to my hip, right? Boom. And there we go, okay? One more time, just from a different angle. Whoop. Okay guys, last one for today. So we're gonna go through some of the unbalancement in the position, the single leg X. So starting off, perhaps with the entry, boom, we're going here, and I'm in the position, right? And first of all, I always want to knock him backwards, right? We're just gonna move this way. So there. So if I can, what I'm looking to do is to turn my knees out and to tilt him over to that side here, okay? So this is the basic sweep. And alone, it's not that powerful, right? But it's the timing that's gonna make it powerful, right? So from here, I have all my leg locks, and now it's easy to get a good hold of his foot and start rolling over, right? But we're gonna go through some of the scenarios here on the top. So, of course, if he's leaning backwards and he's making it easy for me, then I'm always gonna go for this one first, right? But a lot of the times he's gonna be walking forward, or he has a really good base and it's hard for me to go and push him out to this side, okay? So now I'm gonna cup his knee. And the reason why is so that I wanna prevent him from stepping further forward, okay? So when I'm cupping his knee, now it's hard for him to move his leg forward, okay? Which means if I push him over my head now, he has to post his hands, okay? So there's one way to do with the smaller guy. You could just use your legs like they are, like this, but he's a little bit bigger, so I'm gonna use my leg to kick the floor for extra momentum here, okay? So just so you guys see. Wow, a little more. So I'm here. Now I'm gonna use this leg on the floor to push him forward, okay? So now his hands are on the floor, and I can now come up into the single leg X again, okay? So he's gonna come back up naturally. And that's the moment where I'm gonna sweep him backwards again, okay? So I'm looking to tilt him forward so he has to go back, and that's the moment where I try to sweep him like we did first. Again, this is, depending on how much difference in weight and size, right? You could do this without leaving or putting this leg to the floor. Sometimes just pushing is enough, right? If the guy is a little bit bigger, you might have to use this one to punch or kick in the floor and then push him over you, right? So I'm using this foot here on the back of his thigh to kick him over. And it's important, guys. If I'm not blocking his knee and I do this, he's just stepping, right? So I have to block his knee and go here. So now he's posting on the floor, and as soon as he does that, I want to follow up and lock it, okay? At no point do I want to stay low here. This is going to be a terrible situation. So I want to get high, engage my hips here, and as soon as he comes up again, I'm turning my knees out and sweeping him out of the angle of the camera. So just doing a little bit faster here. Boom. There. So here, first lock the knee, kick him over, he comes up, I sweep him back, and I have the potentially the foot lock here, or if you want to make it super easy, grab the other leg, pull the other one under, or your leg out from underneath, and then come up for a nice sweep and 2 points. Thank you guys.